guys, it's Brown Bear here. Today I'm going to show you how to populate the supercarrier in DCS World. Let's get straight to it. So you can do this two ways initially. So today we're in the Caucasus map, but you can do this two ways. So the first way is you can hit this button here, which is add or modify ship group. You just click anywhere in the water. Sorry, before we even do that, you need to select your carrier. Let's go with CVN 71, and there she is there. Okay, or you can, let's delete that, hit the red X. You can go into templates here, create and modify templates, because initially the first one just gives you the carrier. It doesn't give you any of the supporting boats, destroyers, battleships, and like that, cruisers, nothing. So DCS have been kind enough to give us some templates. So for example, here we have all the countries, so we're just going to pick USA, and we don't want the sand battery, we want the supercarrier group. So let's click here, and this is what I want. Okay, it just makes life a lot easier for everybody. So if we scroll in, apologies if you can hear the mouse sounds, here's our carrier group. Okay, so this one gives you two carriers, but not to worry, let's just close that. And that's just important you close that before you click anywhere on this again, otherwise it'll just put another template on top of this and you end up with twice as many ships. So this is number 2 of 5. I don't want that. I want to just change. I'll just change that to let me see this one. Okay. Yeah, so for the purpose of this, we'll just do one carrier. Let's zoom on in and let's get started. So depending on what planes you want to fly, you would populate it with, or what era you're flying. I'm just going to do all Hornets on this, and so for me, what I'm going to do is for the most part, it's going to be static aircraft. So let's click on the static icon, click on the boat. Over here on the right, you want to select you can name it if you want. Generally for static stuff, just leave it the way it is. Country USA, obviously. Category type, let's go with the big stuff first. So let's go planes, and I'm gonna go F-18s. So there's a couple of F-18 models here. The first two, A and C, are low polygon models. So if you guys have issues with graphics or performance, frames per second, and you find using this version, which is the playable the version, has a lot higher polygon count, the textures are a lot better, it can hit your performance quite a bit if you have a low-end machine particularly. So what you want to try and do is figure out what works best for you. But for me, I'm on an i5 9600K, 32 gig of RAM, and I've got an RTX 2080 Super, so I do just fine with the high polygon ones, and I like to look at them. So let's click on one of them. Here it is here, and we want you can pick your skin here. Okay, if you haven't already downloaded this skin here, Heavyweight Project, it's a really cool looking skin. Gives you like a worn out, used F-18 look. Really cool skin. You'll see you'll find it on the DCS user files, and I'll leave a link to it in the description of the video. So link unit, what does this do? So what this does is it will link it to the carrier. Okay, so generally what you want to do is you want to go in and rename your ships and stuff like that. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to show you to populate the carrier. So I don't know which one the carrier is, because we have 5 ships. So link it. Okay, so it's naval 1-1, and we know that because the wings just folded in there. The reason you want to link this is because if you don't link it when you start the game and the ship is moving, literally these will just fall off the deck. So you want to link it, make sure they stay on the boat. So with that in mind, let's just move this. So let's populate the back areas first. Okay, so rule of thumb, red and white line here, this is your barrier. You don't want to have anything hanging over these lines on both sides. Okay, so this inner line on the other side, don't worry about that. You don't want to have anything hanging over these red and white lines. Okay, the whole way across. Okay, I'm going to keep the deck, the box clear. All right, so let's do this. You get the idea of where the main gear is, so they don't fall off the deck, but should be okay about there. And easy way of doing this, so you don't have to keep we can do it this way. We can click on this. We can, you know, start new static icon or object again. Click here. We're gonna rotate it, link it, so the wings fold in. Or you can just Control C once it's highlighted, and you know it's highlighted when it's the icon here. The F is white. Control C, and then for a copy, Control V for paste. This makes life so much easier, and you'll get this done a lot faster. Okay, so what you want to try and do here is you want to try and not block these little circles here, these red and yellow circles. Okay, you want to try and keep these clear. So let's go with that. Right, so we've got 3 aircraft here. There we go, and let's do the same to the other side. So I'm going to copy, paste, change the orientation with this Yogi Bear here. Bring them all the way back. Don't worry about this red line, guys. This is okay. You want to stay behind this one though. And here we go. So this is obviously one of the lifts. So we've got 5 aircraft already. Let's go and populate this one. So I want to do this just to make it a bit easier for myself. Paste, paste. See, when you paste an icon or when you paste a static object that's already been linked, it stays linked. So you don't need to go in here and link unit all over again. So let's do this real quick. I'm trying to make this as quick and easy for you guys so you don't have to hang around watching me mess about. Okay, so there it is. So we got what, 7 aircraft. That's generally, that would be me done. You can put more aircraft here, or Hornets I mean, at an angle. You can populate this elevator, but if you're doing this on multiplayer, I would highly advise to leave this area, these 2 elevators clear, and this area here clear, because 9 times out of 10 this is where you're going to spawn. If you have a high pop server, they will spawn in here as well, but you know, if you are doing a high population multiplayer server, you want to keep all elevators clear, really. But you know, if you have a 10 slot server or something like that, 12 slot, whatever, this is going to work out just fine. You have to be careful as well with performance, and generally you might be better off using the lower polygon models, as I showed you earlier on. Here, so if we go, you know, this FA18C or this FA18A, just to improve the your user's experience when they connect to the server. So because generally multiplayer performance is far more reduced than single player performance. So that's that. So next we will move on to let's see, AWACS, and yeah, we'll do AWACS. So we want a new static object. I'm going to put AWACS here. I know I said won't populate this, but for the crack, let's do it. Hawkeye, so it'll be E2 2D. Let's go with I like the tiger tails, and don't forget to link it. Fix the orientation, and we'll just leave him right there. Let's put a tanker beside him as well. So let's just, you can do it this way too, so you can copy, paste. What's another one in there? But I want to make this an S3B tanker, so let's go for down further. Here we go, S3B, already linked. It's only one skin. Wings are already folded because it's already linked. And Bob's your uncle. So that's that. Next thing you always see on a carrier is choppers. So let's go with the new static object again. Click on the deck. Instead of planes, we want to change this to helicopters. The search and rescue is yeah, it's an SH60. No, it's not an SH60B, is it? Which one it is now? Yeah, it is an SH60B. We don't want to link it. Oh, we do want to link it. Sorry, my bad. And we want to change this way. Generally, they will park like that, and they will 9 times out of 10 be around about here. this is difficult enough now because I said not to block these areas here. So that's oh. Let's just go with that, right? Let's just say that works. Copy, paste. I'll two of them here for good measure. Looks pretty cool as well. Next thing we want to put down is some deck equipment. So new static object. I change your category to airfield and deck equipment. This guy, let's not do this guy first. Do this dude. Alright, so we put him. He always sits over here. Whoops. Let's move him back. Let's make him face that way so he's in business, and don't forget to link him. Next one we want to put is the big crane. I think it's this guy, and we'll link him. Always faces out the other way. You get the hang of this area here. So what overhangs and what doesn't. So I know this here just from experience is an overhang, so I know I'm okay to go the whole way back here, and probably actually back a bit further. But we can put him. Let's put him there. No, let's not put him there. Yeah, let's put him there. And we want another tug. Yeah, this dude. Let's leave him here. You can put another one down if you want. There is another model. It is I'll just show you. Let's just copy and paste him there, and I can show you real quick. It's this guy. See him? So look, I mean, let's put him there for the laugh. And next, that's pretty much it for the planes and the helicopters, for the objects, right? Next thing you want to do, which is really important, obviously Supercarrier comes with its own personnel, and generally there'll be, you know, a couple of guys around here, and the main party sitting here, and they'll get out of the way if you're landing. And when you go to launch, if they're standing here, you'll see them running across here to help you launch the aircraft. But we're not worried about these guys. These are default guys, are always going to be there. But we want to make this a bit more realistic. So what we want to do is, let's go over to the LSO station here, landing signal officer, and let's get some guys down on the ground here. So we want to go personnel, change the category to personnel. We want LSO1, and you don't have different skins, but let's plant his bum right here. Let's make him actually do some work so he's facing the right direction. Excuse me. And then what you can do is, let's put him there, and let's copy and paste him and put another guy facing the other way, just to be sure. But what I like to do is I like to put a few guys in here. Generally you'll have a couple of guys just kind of watching or chatting on the deck, and you can put them in here. We're zooming all the way in, so you just have to be careful where you put them, but 9 times out of 10 this will work, right? So there we go. So we've got a landing signal officer, guys. Next, what we want to do is we want to populate with the various jacket colors. So once again, let's put the arresting hook crew here. These guys wear yellow shirts. They're responsible for the catapults and the arresting gear. They're called an aircraft handling officer. So they're responsible for catapult and arresting gear officers. Obviously the plane directors, so they're responsible for movement of all aircraft on the deck itself and in the hangars. So once the elevators go down under the ship, they're responsible for where they go and all that kind of stuff, and the handling of them. So let's put a couple of guys here. So let's put they're responsible for arresting hook gear. So let's put one guy here. He's facing this way. He's watching the hook, and let's change him to a carrier technician, and make sure he has a yellow shirt on, because he's looking after the arrest and hook stuff. And you can put generally to be a couple of guys either side. Let's just put one each side. Okay, let's make this straightforward and quick. Don't forget to link them. Like I forgot to link this guy. Okay, so there's our yellow shirts. The green guys, let's go next. So green guys are responsible for catapult and arresting gear as well, but also visual aid, landing aid guys, electricians. They're responsible for the air wing maintenance, so the general maintenance of the air wing and quality control and stuff. They handle cargo, ground support. So they're when I say ground support, they're more troubleshooters. They're also a hook runner, photographer's mate, believe it or not, and obviously they're responsible for landing the helicopters. So they're also an LSE helicopter. Sorry, yeah, landing signal enlisted personnel. So helicopter landing signal personnel. So let's get a couple of those green guys down here. So we want to, let's just click anywhere on the deck. Let's change the shirt to green. And I mean, look, just for the purpose of this, we're not going to have any helicopters landing, but let's just say put one of these guys down here, okay, and don't forget to link them. You can put a couple more around if you want. So put another guy down. Next guy we're going to be looking at is the red guy. So these guys handle ordnance, so they're responsible for obviously handling, you know, ammunition. Whether it's guns or bombs or missiles. They're responsible for any air crashes that happen on the carrier and salvaging, and obviously, as I said, explosive ordnance, so bombs, missiles, that kind of stuff. And obviously they're responsible for damage control and firefighting. So let's get a couple of these guys down here. They're red shirts. Let's link him. This is this guy, if I remember rightly. And let's so let's just say these aircraft are just coming up from the hangar. So we're going to put a couple of guys here. They're going to be facing this aircraft. Let's copy, paste. Let's give him a buddy, and let's pretend he's loading the gun. This guy's loading some bombs, so let's have him facing this way. And then what you could do is, I'll just show you for the laugh. New static object. Put it down here. And we'll make this I think it's cargo. Yeah, so some ammunition, say for example, link this. So let's just say, this should pretend this is a crate of gun ammunition, right? And you can see it there just about. And let's just say, let's just put it there, and let's pretend this guy is loading on. So you can do that kind of stuff. Or, you know, for example, let's put another one down. You can put some bombs on. I mean, they don't have all the weapons here. These are just the default. There's only one version of bomb, so you can't select, you know, a specific GBU or a Mark 82 or whatever. But you could make do for the moment, like I do. And let's just say, pretend this guy's loading on some bombs or whatever, just to make it a bit more realistic, a bit more immersive for yourself. Next guy we're going to look at is the fuel handling guy, and he is a purple shirt. So let's go, what do I say, technician and purple shirt, and let's just say you can plant him anywhere, you know. Let's just put one guy there. I'll have a look at one of the aircraft, pretend he's fueling up. Next guy is a blue guy. So these guys are trainee plane handlers, so they do all the chocks and entry-level flight deck workers, and under the supervision of the yellow shirts. They operate the elevators on the aircraft as well, on the aircraft carrier, rather. They're the tractor driver, and they are also a messenger and a phone talker. So let's, is this the guy? No. Yeah, I think it's this guy, isn't it? Oh, remember where I put that dude now. Doesn't matter, don't care. So let's put a guy down here, make him a blue shirt, and let's put him under the supervision of one of the yellow guys. So let's put him there, and let's copy him, paste him, let's have him looking at this guy. Don't forget to link him like I just did there again. Click on his mate and make him a yellow shirt because he's supervising. Link him again and let's put him facing the other dude so they're having the chats. And alright, so next one is moving on really quickly. Brown shirt. So brown shirt guys are air wing plane captains for the squadron, and they prepare aircraft for flight generally, and to do air wing line. They're the leading petty officer. So let's put a couple of dudes down here, make them brown shirts. Link them, looking this way, and let's give this guy a pal as well. Right? So 2 dudes there. Then you have white guys. White shirts. So these guys are responsible for QA, so quality assurance. They can be LSOs, air transfer officers or ATOs, liquid oxygen handling crew, LOXs for short. They're a safety observer. They're also meds or medical staff, and they generally have a kind of a Red Cross emblem on them as well. And they are a plane inspector, so these guys know their stuff. So I'm not actually sure where these guys go, so maybe if someone actually knows, they can put it in the comments. Help me out. But let's just put one of these dudes down here for now. I'm facing that way, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Obviously with the mission editor, don't forget to save. Okay. So file save as. Let's just put this as Supercarrier populated, right? Mission. So if I ever create a new mission, I know this one currently has a Supercarrier group. It's the CVN 71 or the Theodore Roosevelt, and I know it's populated, so I don't have to go and do this all over again. So very, very handy. The other thing you want to be really careful of is launching aircraft. So when you go to use this, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, if you forget to put wind speed over the deck, or whether that's through the weather here, static weather, so your wind speed here. So this guy, for example, we change this to 10. You know, at 1600 feet, change to 21 knots, and we can mess around with directions here. Let's say we forgot to do that, and that was set at default, which is 0, and the carrier was stationary, so it was anchored, it wasn't moving. Aircraft launching off the deck, particularly AI, will actually launch off the deck, and what will happen is, if you're looking at them, if you're watching them launched, they'll drop off the deck, and they'll fall below. They'll fall below the deck, so they'll literally go missing for a second or two. Because they just don't have that enough airspeed to get airborne straight away, and they'll gradually take off then as they get enough speed. But obviously, just for risk aversion, you don't want to be doing that. Just in case you do hit the sea and kaboom. So general rule of thumb, what I like to do is click on the carrier and see the speed here is already 11 knots, so that's fine and dandy. Let's change this to an 18 knot, and then we know we're safe, right? Generally, so generally aircraft will launch about, I think it's 150 knots within 2 seconds of being catapulted, so 170 miles per hour, rough conversion there, and yeah, they'll get airborne. So if there's a bit more wind speed over the deck, obviously that 150 knots changes into 168 knots, so give it a bit of a helping hand to the guys launching. We forgot one thing, and this is crucial, because this adds the immersion, and there's always one of these, and this is a helicopter. So, but this is not a static object. This guy is actually flying alongside the helicopter, or sorry, alongside the aircraft carrier, and he generally flies off the right hand side here, and he is responsible for search and rescue. So let's put this guy here. Right. Don't forget, we need to select the actual flying aircraft here. So add a modifier, helicopter group. We just want one. You can name them here if you want, or and you can put in obviously the various pilot if you want. As we said earlier on, this guy is an SH-60B. Let's just check that's the right one. know what's going on there, but yeah, I can just about see him. That's the right one. And we want him flying at an altitude of, let's just say 500 feet, right? And we want him flying alongside the carrier, so we want him flying at 18 knots. We want to add a waypoint. You can leave him stationary, just hovering if you want. Let's add a waypoint. Right, let's use our ruler. Let's go straight out here. Click. So he's going to fly at 18 knots for whatever that distance that is, so 34 miles, nautical miles, at 500 feet. And obviously we don't want him just leaving the carrier behind, so what we want to do is click on our carrier group, give them a waypoint, and generally I like to put these guys at about 300 feet away from the boat, so let's just make sure that's right. 300 feet, and that's the end result is 300 feet or 301 feet. And let's go back to the carrier and make sure he's 300 feet there, because just no, he's not. He's 369. So let's move him in. He's a bit further close. Good enough. Nearly forgot. Let's say we want to put in some actual moving aircraft on here. So, for example, you or AI. We want to click this plane here. Click on the deck anywhere. It doesn't really matter. And let's say we're launching some Hornets. There we go. Skill, we don't care about right now. We want them to take off from the runway, so the catapult. And over here on the right hand side you can select parking. It says parking, but it should say catapult, but nevertheless. 1, 2, 3 or 4. So 1 being where he is now, 2 being the left hand side of him, 3 is obviously down further on the deck down here, and then 4 is obviously the other one. So let's have them take off. Let's do a pair of them, and let's have them taken off from 3 and 4. So obviously there's overlap here on these two catapults, as you can see. So the guy in Cat 3 will actually launch before the guy in Cat 4. And be very careful. This was only pointed out to me recently. If we, for example, let's put another group here, and just for the sake of this, what I'm trying to show you, let's make these guys Tomcats. So let's make these guys F-14s. Doesn't matter. Let's get the new A model, right? Take off from runway, Cat 1, and let's give him Buddy, right? And make him Cat 2. These catapults do get closer, right? And when the Tomcat's wings are fully forward, they will overlap. So what you don't want is that to happen when they launch, or if they do launch simultaneously, they literally end up clipping wings, and see you later. So yeah, just bear that in mind. When the Tomcat's wings are fully extended, they do overlap on Cats 1 and 2. Cats 3 and 4, not a problem, because one is further behind the other. But Cats 1 and 2, just bear that in mind. So look guys, that's it. Pretty much. Oh look, I mean, I suppose I might as well explain to you. Look, if you want to put, you know, your own aircraft down here, let's say for example, let's make you let's stick with the theme and make you a Hornet, and obviously skill type here we want rookie, trained, veteran, ace, or random is AI. Client is, you want to make sure that any flyable aircraft you put down on the deck, you select, and you make, if this is a multiplayer mission for example, you want to make this, you set all your aircraft to client. That means that anyone logging onto the server will be able to select a plane that has the skill client. If it's a single player mission, obviously you can do either, actually, client or player. You know, if you want to make a mission that has multi-role, for example, and you're flying on multiple times, it's cool to make it a client mission, so you don't have to keep chopping and changing every time you load the mission. It just gives you, when you load in any aircraft you put down, so if you have an F-16, an F-18, an F-14, you can select which one you want to fly on that particular day. But let's, for the purpose of this, let's make a player. Type where we want it to actually spawn in. We want to take off from ramp, so we're going to do a cold start. It comes in over these guys on the Cats, on Cat 1, but don't worry about it, you'll actually spawn in here, just beside the S3B tanker. And generally this area here in front of the elevators is where any guys spawning in. So if you've yourself and 3 wingmen, they'll all spawn in here. So you're safe. If there's aircraft here in the way, so for example, if you were to put one of these guys take off from the ramp, and this is all full of guys taking off from the ramp, AI aircraft, you'll spawn in either on this over here, but obviously you won't because you've a Hawkeye here and a tanker here. You'll spawn in over here. So don't worry about it. It will work itself out when you do it, and that's it. So look, I hope this was helpful, and yeah, give the channel a like if you like the content, and put a comment in if you feel you want to. You don't have to, obviously. Dislike it if you dislike the video, please, and leave a comment as to why. And look, any corrections or tips and tricks yourself that you want to point out to me, please do leave it in the comments. It'd be very helpful. And thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want more content like this. Cheers.